I think there's another rumor out there that some people have been speculating and paying attention to that is something to keep an eye on when it comes to a target the Mariners could be on this offseason. And they say it is at the top of their priority list and has potential to be an unreal player. And that's Roki Sasaki. There's been some news leaking out about the meetings that he's been having over the course of the last couple of weeks. Let's see the list here. Mets, Yankees, Cubs, Rangers, Giants, and the Dodgers and Padres are expected. These are all the ones that have been reported. Mariners are not on that list. This is pure speculation at this point about Roki Sasaki and his very early rounds of being courted to Major League Baseball. Is this a rumor you raise your eyebrow at all?
I'm tossing and turning about it. Because, again, let's list out those teams again. It's the Yankees, Cubs, Giants, Rangers, and did you say Mets he's met with?
The Mets have gotten a meeting. The Giants have as well.
Yeah. So Mets, Yankees, Cubs, Giants, and Rangers. Those are the 5 so far. The Dodgers and Padres, who it's well known those two are going to be a couple of the front runners for Roki. They haven't had them yet, but you know those meetings are coming. So that's 7. And the reason we bring this rumor up is because the Red Sox want a meeting with Roki Sasaki. The Red Sox have interest in Roki Sasaki. What team wouldn't? An arm that's going to cost you league minimum and a little bit of international signing bonus money to pitch in your rotation for 6 years at a league minimum deal, and his upside's the ace of your staff, including in Seattle. So, of course, every team's interested, but staying on the Red Sox here for a second, Craig Breslow's been on the record saying, yeah, we want to meet with Roki Sasaki. We're interested in Roki Sasaki, but as we currently stand, there is no meeting planned, and we have not met with him yet. So again, there's no meeting, they have not had a meeting, and there is not one planned as we currently speak, which makes it sound like Roki Sasaki may not be interested in pitching at Fenway Park. So I think a lot of Red Sox fans are a little frustrated right now because they say, look, we want Roki Sasaki, but it doesn't sound like we're even going to get a chance to make the pitch to him. Where that ties back to the Mariners is, like you said when you brought this topic in, they're not on this list. It has not been reported if they met with him or not. So now there's speculation of, is Roki Sasaki going to give the Mariners a fighting chance in these sweepstakes? Is he going to sit down for a meeting with them? It hasn't been reported one way or another, but given how the offseason's gone, I think it's fair to have some skepticism.
Mariners don't normally leak things like this, though I feel like it would get leaked from the other side or would get leaked from another team who has insight to this stuff. And at this point, I don't know why the Mariners would keep something like this so close to the vest, because it's clear other teams are willing to leak that they're going to have meetings with Roki Sasaki, and Roki probably thinks, whatever, it doesn't really matter. That much really doesn't matter to me, it seems like. So I see no downside for the Mariners to keep something like this a total secret based on how the offseason's gone. I think fans could use like the tiniest sliver of optimism when it comes to potentially getting an elite player, but that's not been the case this offseason. I hope we will hear some version of yes or no before he signs. I would like to know that. I would prefer when the Mariners say they've made something one of their top priorities this offseason, we don't go until he inevitably signs with the Dodgers, that we wait until like the beginning of the season where he says, oh yeah, we never got to meet with Roki Sasaki. It's like, wait, so there was a multi-year plan to court Roki Sasaki to Seattle and he didn't give you a meeting and we didn't hear about it until now? That would be interesting. But I think it's still too early to make that declaration, but definitely interesting.
What if it came out in April or whenever, after Sasaki signed, we assume elsewhere, that the Mariners say, yes, we did have a meeting with him. It was a good meeting. He just didn't choose us. Would then you change your opinion at all and say to yourself, well, I'm glad they tried. I'm glad they had the meeting. He just didn't choose him.
If they met with him and he decided to sign with the Dodgers, how am I going to blame Roki Sasaki?
You're not, but I'm saying, what if the report doesn't get out there till April? Let's say May, like way later.
Then it would be essentially a nothing burger. I think it would be a bigger story if they didn't get to meet with him.
It would be
because at that point, it's like, this is just a total misevaluation then.
Well, I think, remember how I posed the question on Wednesday's episode saying, are we ready to stamp a Denzel Crocker F on the Mariners offseason? And we said, well, not yet, because there's still offseason left. There's still players on the board. But if it comes out that Roki Sasaki does not even want to sit down for a meeting with the Mariners, we might be pushing really close to that Denzel Crocker F. Because in that scenario, you're talking about saying Roki Sasaki was your top priority. You said that you've worked to make a pitch with the guy for a while, and he didn't even sit down with you. And then, we had Carlos Santana as a top priority, and he didn't sign here either. That would be a bad look.
At that point, you sit down and ask, it's like, are you spending your time wisely? Like, what all this time they've said for years getting this pitch ready for Roki Sasaki, and he doesn't bother sitting down with you. It's like, are you sure you know how to evaluate this market properly? It's almost, people will say this anyway, Lyle, but that's the definition of a vote of no confidence.
Right. And that has been a flaw and a weakness of this front office. As well as they've drafted, as well as they've developed pitching, they cannot seem to land. Well, Roki's a pitcher, so this is a little bit different, but they just cannot seem to land a lot of established big league talent on the free agent or trade markets, especially when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. This is a little different because it's the hitting side, but it's to your same point of, are you putting your effort into the wrong baskets or into the wrong things?
Right. And I had one other note. And so based on, and on top of that, how it's clear you guys can develop pitching among the best in baseball. Like, what does that say about the rest of your org if he's not even willing to meet with you despite all of those pitching positives that you have?
Right.
It says a lot.
And paired with not just how well they've developed pitching and kept them healthy, but all the external factors too. Pitchers Park, close to Japan, media market's really friendly. It's not New York. It's not LA. There's a lot of things that line up for Roki Sasaki and the Seattle Mariners. In fact, there's been a lot of people on the outside that have started to say, yeah, I wonder if Roki's going to sign with Seattle. Peter said that. Our buddy Peter Apple, who is one of the three hosts of the Just Baseball show, the network we're a part of, he said that a couple weeks ago. He's like, dude, I think the Mariners are going to get Roki. Now, Peter may be a lot more optimistic than people in the Seattle market who have just been now taught to enhance and
expect
basically,
the worst.
Consume skepticism. But there's a reason other people are saying, yeah, this would make a lot of sense. There's a lot of things that line up. So to your point, if all those things line up for Roki Sasaki and he won't even sit to talk with the team, won't even listen to what they have to say, it's not a good sign.
Another thing about the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes, based on what Joel Wolf was talking about the winter meetings, I'm staring at these teams: Mets, Yankees, Cubs, Rangers, Giants, Dodgers, Padres. We'll see what he eventually chooses. Was the small market thing just a good quote?
It's possible, because those are not small markets.
Zero small markets in that group. Just the Padres.
Right. What do you call the Rangers?
Dude, Dallas is like the number 5 media market in the country. Yeah, that's a big market.
Do the Rangers have a lot of media?
In terms of media pressure, no. It's not like the Northeast. It's not like LA, but it's still pretty big.
It is. So if you're going to call Dallas a big market, which is fine, what teams aside from the Mariners and the Padres could even make sense for Roki if he's looking at some of these smaller markets? I don't think he's going to sign with the Reds, for example, in that bandbox of a park in the Midwest. I doubt it.
The Guardians.
Yeah, that could be one.
That's small market with great pitching development.
Mm-hmm. That would make some sense.
The Twins develop pitchers pretty well, too. Right?
Yeah. Would he sign there? I guess it's possible.
Based on what Joe Wolf said, small market, good for his development.
What about Atlanta?
Not a small market, but good pitching development, definitely.
It's not a huge market. It's not small.
It's pretty big. It's bigger than Seattle is.
But it's not LA. It's not New York. It's not Chicago.
No,
the only thing is
it's an upper middle market.
Right. It's it's very far from Japan. I don't know how important that is to Roki Sasaki, but it's something to consider. So,
well, we'll see if they hold up their end of the bargain of being away from media pressure and small markets. Because based on that list, it essentially goes against the grain of what they were talking about and what he wants.
Right.
Now, he did also name some of the best orgs in baseball, which makes sense. Best orgs are usually in the biggest markets because they have the best resources. But, you know, the whole small market thing seems to be a taking a backseat to everything else in this sweepstakes. And it's going essentially how everyone thought, where the teams with the most resources and the best reputations get to take those meetings.
Maybe Joe Wolf wanted that out there to put some pressure on the bigger market teams. Maybe he didn't want the big market teams to feel like they were going to just coast to this thing. Maybe he wanted it to feel like a true sweepstakes with 30 teams involved. Maybe that was a ploy and a tactic that he put out there by putting that quote out there to say, look, he only costs international slot money. Every team's got a chance. So yeah, he would be open to a small market.
I guess we'll find out soon. When is he going to get posted? He hasn't been posted yet, has he?
Yeah, he's been posted.
Oh, he has been posted. Okay.
He's been posted. Like he could sign right now if he chose to. He's just not going to. He's not going to until January 15th or later.
Right.
But
so we'll see.
Once that January 15th date hits, I think he only has 8 or 9 days left before that posting window closes. So I'm sure once January 15th rolls around, it's going to be very, very shortly after that.